Good morning, children. Welcome to the online class. Today I am going to explain you about inverse proportion. In the previous class I told you about direct proportion. Children, proportions are two types. One is direct proportion and second one is indirect proportion or inverse proportion. What is direct proportion, children? If one quantity is going on increasing, then the second quantity is also increases, then that is known as direct proportion. Or otherwise, if one quantity decreases, then the second quantity also decreases, then is also called as a direct proportion. Now in this class I am going to tell you about inverse proportion. What is inverse proportion? I will explain you now. Here for this is the activity 6 in your textbook. So children, for this one we want one syringe. Injection, for doing injections we will use syringes. So this syringe, 50 ml syringe we want. First of all, what we have to do, take syringe in your hands, and at the end we have a plunger. So if you keep that plunger inside into it, then the injection, what is the liquid present in the syringe, will be directly entered into our body. So for the syringe there is one plunger arrangement. So first of all, what we have to do, what you have to observe is, directly take a syringe and open the plunger outside. So is there any problem while moving out of this plunger, children? No, we won't get any problem while moving out. Okay, children. Now try to push the plunger into the syringe. And how you have to push the syringe inside this, how you have to push this plunger into this syringe, children? Keep the finger on the outside of the syringe which is open. Okay, children, you have to keep finger on the syringe, and at the other end you have to push this plunger into the syringe. What we have to observe here? What we have observed here, that when you are pushing this plunger into this syringe with your finger facing on the upper side, then it will be more difficult. Why? Because here you get the finger, and if you open the finger, try to push this plunger into the syringe, then there is no difficulty, children, because there is free flow of air. That's why no problem in pushing this into the syringe. Okay, children. Now what we have to observe, if you keep the finger on this syringe, then it will be more difficulty. That means we are applying more pressure in order to push this plunger into the syringe. That means we are applying more force. If you are applying more force, what is the space inside the syringe? If you are pushing inside the syringe, then the space in this syringe will be going on decreasing. Okay, children. If you remove out of the plunger outside, then there is lot of space inside the syringe. And if you push this plunger into this syringe, it is occupying space. So children, this is a syringe. If it is like this, then at this one we have to push. When you are pushing this plunger into this one, so it is as you are applying more pressure. If you are applying more pressure, then what happens? The volume inside it is decreases. Why? Because we are pushing the syringe into the plunger. We are pushing the plunger into the syringe. Then the volume of this space going on decreasing. As you are applying more pressure, then the volume decreases. And if you take out this plunger outside, that means we are not giving more pressure in order to pull out. So children, then that one, in that case the volume increases. So here what we have to observe, when you apply more pressure, then there is a small quantity of volume or volume decreases. When pressure increases, the amount of space inside the syringe going on decreases by applying more pressure. That means if one quantity is going on increasing, the other quantity decreasing. Okay children, here I will explain you with the help of this table. Here pressure, first quantity is pressure. Pressure is measured in Pascal. I told you in the previous classes the unit of pressure is Pascal. And what is the second one we have to take here? Volume. Here the volume is measured in milliliters. Volume is measured in milliliters. So the unit of volume is milliliters. In these two, which one is the independent variable children? Pressure is the independent variable, because how much pressure, with how much pressure we are pushing this plunger into the syringe, that is our wish. So we can fix these pressures. So we have to apply, we can apply 1.2, 1.6 pascals, 2 pascals, 2.4 pascals, 2.8 pascals, 3.2 pascals, like this. So here pressure is taken as an independent variable because it is our wish. I told you that is pressure is an independent variable. So always independent variables are taken on x-axis children. So here pressure is taken on the x-axis and volume. So how much space it will be decreases, that is not in your hands. So that's why here we have to take volume milliliters in the volume milliliters on the y-axis children. After that we have to see children, if the pressure applied by us is 1.2 pascals, the volume inside that one is 50 ml, and if it is 1.6 then it is 37.5, and it is 2 pascals then it is 30 ml, and it is 2.4 then it is 25. So here see children, 1.2, 1.6, 2, 2.4, here the pressure values are increasing. The pressure values are increasing. Now observe the changes in the volume measurements. 50, 37.5. So value increases or decreases? Decreases. From 37.5 to 30. When the pressure is 2 pascals, then the volume occupied by it is 30 ml. Next 25, 21.4, 18.7. Like this, the volume values are also decreasing, but here the pressure values are increasing. The volume occupied by that one is decreasing. So children, if one quantity is increasing and the other quantity decreases, then the type of proportion is known as inverse proportion. It is known as inverse proportion. So now you have to label these points in the graph children. So we have already, I have told you, pressure is an independent variable and volume is dependent. So dependent variables are taken on y-axis, pressure is taken on pascals, which is taken on x-axis. So here you have to plot 1.2, 50. So next 1.6, 37.5. This is, so for these points we have to plot the points. After that you have to join all the points. Here what is the shape of the graph that we get in this case children? It is a curve. So if any sum gets this curve shape, then definitely by seeing that curve shape we can tell that those two quantities are in inverse proportion. If you get a graph like a straight line, then it is a direct proportion children. If the graph is in curved shape, then definitely it is in inverse proportion because the values are going on decreasing like this. So from here to here the values are going down. Here the see children, 35, 30, 25, like this the values are decreasing, and here pressure values are increasing from 1, 1.5 to 2.5. Pressure values are increasing and volume values are decreasing children. So by this one we can know that if the graph contains two quantities is a curve, then we can say that those two quantities are in inverse proportion. Now we will see some points about this inverse proportion. Always the value of one quantity should be 0. The value of the second quantity cannot be defined. That means it can be infinite. So children, first of all, one quantity should be 0. First of all, I told you in the direct proportion also. What I told you, first we have to take the initial values are 0. If you won't start the experiment, then the values are also, starting value of the two quantities is also 0 children. Next, coming to the second point, the product of any two pairs should be constant. Product means multiplication. If you multiply these two quantities, then the answers are all for the tables. But 1.2 into 5 children 6. 2 3s 2.0 into 30. Okay children, 60. Like this is also 60. If you multiply these two quantities, this and this and a pressure into volume. If you multiply pressure into volume, then its ratio, this product is also a constant term. That means same values you will get. So if you get the same values, then it is termed as a constant value. So if the product of any two pairs should be constant. Okay children, by multiplying pressure and value, we will get the same value and it is known as a constant value. That means the product of pressure and volume is always constant. And if the value of one quantity increases, if one quantity increases, then the second quantity decreases, in this case of inverse proportion children. Next, coming to the what we have taken on this axis. So these are the steps in construction of a graph. So after completion of every graph, you have to check all these are verified or not. Axis. What is axis here? On x-axis we have taken pressure and on y-axis we have taken volume children. Next, coming to the range. What is range? The difference of highest value and the lowest value is known as a range. So what is the highest value on x-axis? 3.2 minus 1.2, because 1.2 is the least one. 3.2 minus 1.2, how much? 2. So the range on x-axis is 2 children. Next, coming to the range on y-axis, 50 minus 18.7. So by subtracting 50 from 18.7, you will get the range children. So in this way we can calculate range. Next, scale. What is the scale on x-axis children? Here observe 0.5, 1.1, 1.5, 2.0. That means here scale on x-axis is 0.5. 0.5 pascals, because 1 unit is equal to 0.5 pascals children. Next, coming to the scale on y-axis. So 5, 10, 15 milliliters children. So on y-axis 1 unit is equal to 5 ml children. So this is about scale on y-axis. Next, name on the axis. So I told you in the previous class also, you have to write the what is taken on x-axis and what is the taken on y-axis. Letters this should be, you have to written. So pressure is Pascal and volume milliliters on y-axis. So here pressure I have written and volume I have written. Okay children, name on the x-axis finished. What is there? What are data points? What are data points? See children, 1.2 comma 50. 1.2 comma 50. This is one data point. And 1.6 comma 37.5. This is next data point. Like that 2.0 comma 30. 2.4 comma 25. 2.8 into 2.8 comma 21.4. Like that. If you keep commas and within the brackets, then those are known as data points. Already we have, after that, labeling data points. After we have written data points, we have to label the points in the graph children. So here we have plotted these data points on the graph. Here we got a curve shape. What can you know about by seeing this curve shape, children? Because here we can know that the quantities are in inverse proportion. Children, in the previous class I told you in that activity mass is an dependent variable. That is wrong, that is a mistake. But mass is an independent variable, so that's why it is taken on x-axis. In that activity, mass along with what is taken on y-axis is dependent variable, children. So for that one, now coming to the inverse proportion. What is an inverse proportion? If one quantity going on increases, then the second quantity decreases, then that is known as a inverse proportion. So children, do you clear about this proportion topic? Direct proportion and indirect proportion. Okay children, indirect proportion is also known as inverse proportion. In the next class, I will tell you with next topic. Thank you children.